Celebration Day, Miami Dolphins fans. Finally, a productive day from the Miami Dolphins offensively during training camp. But a little more importantly from the day, Tua signed his extension. The prayers have been answered, Miami Dolphins fans. We're going to jump into all of the news regarding today's extension. We'll do a full training camp practice report from Friday's action. But first, before we jump into everything, let's hear from you. Yesterday, we're like, you know what? Let's open the can of worms. Let's hear your thoughts on Tua, the negotiations, the hold in, the holdout, whatever you want to call it. Well, today we can finally say that our quarterback, our franchise quarterback, has been locked up for the long term. So go ahead and drop your thoughts on that extension in the comments. If you haven't gotten subscribed yet, make sure you are doing so. And as always, thank you to all of those that have already ended up subscribing. But yes, Dolphins fans, we have our franchise quarterback locked up. The contract details is a 4-year, $212.4 million extension. $167.1 million of that is guaranteed. The deal actually currently ranks third in regards to the highest paid quarterbacks on a per year basis. You've got Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence that are ahead of Tua at $55 million. Tua comes in at $53.1 million per year. And then Jared Goff is actually just behind him at $53 million. In case I said Tua is wrong, it's 53.1. Goff is at 53. We have been talking about this extension a lot this offseason. Obviously, it was one of the biggest things going into the offseason that we were all kind of expecting, some of us hoping would end up happening. But we talked about this team's primary goals outside of what they needed to accomplish in free agency in the 2024 NFL draft. And that was getting contract extensions done for some of their in-house guys, a thing that they really didn't do last year. We didn't get to sign Christian Wilkins. We didn't get to sign Robert Hunt. This year, the team's goal, extend Tua, extend Jaylen, Waddle. Well, guess what? Both goals, check them boxes off. We no longer need now to worry about, is Tua going to be a limited participant in training camp? Is he going to be full? Is he going to do what he did on Thursday and completely sit out? The deal is done. We have locked up our franchise quarterback. One thing that I want to add about this is just some praise. Some praise is probably the best word I'm going to come up with. Some praise for Tua in these negotiations, especially recently, taking a stand and wanting to get this deal done. I was told that Tua's agents, they wanted him to hold out. That was no secret. Him not participating fully was on the agents. The agents were pushing him to hold out even more. They wanted him to hold out to try to get around that $175 million guaranteed. Tua said enough is enough. He went against what they were advising him to do. So yeah, Tua, I mean, it's still a lot of money. Yeah, he got paid, but at the end of the day, you got to give some credit for him seeing the big picture, for doing some compromising, getting this deal done yet in the first week of camp. And I know those first 2 days were a little bit ugly. It's kind of the point where we saw enough of life without Tua to the point that some compromising was done. We got this deal done. And I just want to add a couple of just personal thoughts here on this extension before we jump into this training camp practice report as well. It's no secret. I'm a Tua guy. So obviously, as you can tell, I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon with today's news. I know that there are likely some people out there that they never wanted to give Tua this kind of money, wanted him to play out that 5th-year option and then kind of see how it goes. Would he stay healthy? Would he perform at the level he's performed the last couple of years? To that, and everyone can have their own opinion. No pushback on that whatsoever. Leave your comments if you agree, disagree, whatever it ends up being. But to that, I would say, if not now, when? We're set up to win. When are we going to do this? What are we waiting for? Tua Tagovailoa, in my opinion, hands down the best quarterback this franchise has had since 13, since Dan Marino. I found this in a tweet. In 2 years with Mike McDaniel, Tua has thrown for over 8,000 yards, 8.5 yards per attempt. Pretty damn solid, considering a guy that people didn't really trust, where he was able to throw the ball on the field. 54 passing touchdowns compared to just 22 interceptions, a 67.5 completion percentage, and 102.9 passer rating. Those numbers aren't put up by just anyone. And I don't care how good Jalen Waddle is, how good Tyreek is, how good Mike McDaniel is at scheming up an offense. We've seen quarterbacks perform when Tua's not been out there. And quite honestly, it's just not the same. And I know those guys aren't your top tier quarterbacks. I mean, primarily over the last couple of years, if it hasn't been Tua, it's been what? A Bridgewater, a Skylar Thompson. But if you want better than that, if you're not going to have those tier quarterbacks where, yeah, the difference is obviously going to be different, you're still going to have to pay that some sort of money. And while maybe it's not the kind of money that we just gave to Tua Tagovailoa, you're still going to pay quite a bit for a guy that's just clearly not going to be as good as Tua is in this system. This team was quite literally built to support Tua Tagovailoa. The speed, the timing, the anticipation throws, all of these things that Tua excels at, that he is top tier at. It was built for him. This was the plan all along. Get him with Mike McDaniel, make sure he can stay healthy, make sure that he is a good fit in the system, sign him to an extension. I guess I will stop ranting right there. As you can see, I'm just a little bit thrilled. Let's just jump into some Friday training camp as well, because it was a nice report to get today from training camp as well. Tua, obviously, yes, a full participant, limited participant on Wednesday, complete spectator on Thursday, full participant on Friday. And his first play of team drills, 11 on 11, his first pass of team drills of training camp, kind of just screamed, pay me. A 70-yard bomb touchdown throw to Tyreek Hill. And making it even more impressive was the fact that it was against the first team defense. And Tyreek Hill beat Jalen Ramsey, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, clearly our best cornerback as well. So what a way to start team drills for Tua here in training camp. Tua also hit Devon Achane for a catch and run touchdown, and he hit River Craycraft for a 65-yard touchdown as well. Simply put, the best day by our quarterbacks, the best day by the Dolphins offense in general since training camp has started earlier this week. And yeah, I'm going to say it. It's mostly likely because Tua is the one steering the ship. Let's go position by position with some more updates as well. At running back, no Raheem Mostert today, obviously giving him a veteran rest day as well. Jeff Wilson was noted for a big run off a key block by Aaron Brewer. We talked about Chris Brooks maybe kind of seizing a little opportunity yesterday. Jeff Wilson answering the bell today. I was also told that, newsflash, this is becoming a daily thing. Devon Achane just continues to impress. Look for Raheem Mostert to still kind of be that listed starter, that primary back. Don't be surprised when a guy like Devon Achane is getting a similar amount of touches as Raheem Mostert. The guy, as I'm being told right now, is just simply too good to not give opportunities to, whether that's turning around, handing the ball, doing a gadget play, throwing it to him. They are going to try to get this guy the ball quite often this year. And I think a lot of fans are going to love that. Wide receiver-wise, Tyreek also scored on a catch and run from Tua, where the ball was placed between two defenders. Tyreek springs forward for the score. For how cool it was that they scored on the 70-yard touchdown on the first play of camp, it sounds like that was actually the most impressive throw of the day, just kind of leaving the defenders saying like, yeah, we haven't seen that in team drills since basically this training camp while Tua's been out. River Craycraft as well also caught a long touchdown from Skylar Thompson on a 50-50 ball where he caught it over his shoulder and ended up scoring. That is a big day from River Craycraft at a position that we've talked about being super competitive for roster spots. So talking about a guy seizing some opportunity there. Travis Wingfield noted Malik Washington with his best day of camp so far as well. Made a fully extended catch on a throw from Skylar Thompson. Stayed on his feet, made his way into the end zone. In live action, it sounds like maybe he wouldn't have made it, but hey, it's training camp. We're going to give him the touchdown. One quick note on Odell Beckham as well. Still on the PUP list. However, the news is that the injury isn't anything new. The Dolphins front office coaching staff, they knew about this injury before basically making a deal with him. So at this point in time, it comes down to him needing just a little bit more time to come over that. They're trying to prevent any potential setbacks. Saw some beat reporters today talking about Jonnu Smith's speed. Remember, he was actually given a veteran rest day on Thursday. He is going to be a fun addition to this team as well as we continue to watch this offense actually evolve. Good to have Tua back so we can really get these reps in as well. But we're talking about a guy you can give tight end screens to when they're doubling Tyreek, Jaylen, Waddle. You got to worry about the running backs in the backfield. Oh, here's Jonnu Smith running up the seam. I've said it a million times. This is a type of weapon Mike McDaniel hasn't truly had since being the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So I'm excited to see what Jonnu Smith can do in this offense. The offensive line, the unit that has been the weakest link offensively so far during training camp, Teron Armstead, rinse, wash, repeat, given a veteran rest day to day. But the cool news from the offensive line today was some notes on Patrick Paul. Noted for a big block on a nice play in the run game. Travis Wingfield also noted that Paul looked patient and comfortable in his pass sets in 1-versus-1 drills. I was informed actually a couple of days ago, I forgot to add this nugget. The team, the coaching staff is really working with Patrick Paul almost like on a daily basis on kind of the fundamentals, some of the hand placement stuff, some of the getting lower in his set, some of the fundamental things, just really trying to kind of rebuild him. I don't know if this is going to be a true redshirt year in a perfect world. Teron Armstead stays healthy and it can be a true redshirt year for Patrick Paul, but really trying to rebuild those tools, those fundamentals, likely have him play a bigger role in 2025. I'll finish up with Patrick Paul with a couple more notes. He finished a rep by putting Mo Kamara on the ground today. Also noted a rep against Chop Robinson where he dropped that anchor in his set, completely stonewalled Chop Robinson. Sounds like the overall best day of camp for Patrick Paul as well. The offense in general, before we switch over to the defense, sounds like there was some exchange, some timing issues. It really sounds like Aaron Brewer and Tua need some more reps together, which after today's news, we're obviously going to get. So that's a good thing. A couple of false starts sprinkled in with some of the big plays that we had. However, yes, by far the best day of camp offensively for the Miami Dolphins. We'll go over to the defensive side of the ball. Calais Campbell got credited with his first sack of camp in a rep working against Austin Jackson. Tier Tart also got into the mix with a sack on Skylar Thompson. And that's another interior defensive lineman that we've heard from now in camp. So joining the likes of we had Brandon Peely, obviously Tart today. We had some Deshaun Hand news as well. Getting these guys in there, having those guys that can compete alongside Zach Sealer, alongside Calais Campbell. We need these guys to step up, and by all accounts so far, we're seeing some good things from these guys. Anthony Walker at linebacker won the team's orange, one's maybe a funny word, earned the team's orange jersey for today's practice. But like we said yesterday, Anthony Walker, from all accounts, from all of the things that we've seen this offseason, looking like he could potentially be one of the more underrated signings from earlier this offseason, at least so far, like I said. Chop Robinson, yeah, he got stonewalled on that play, but he did get in for a sack. Today, Mike White was in at quarterback. Sounds like Chop did what Chop does, use that speed around the edge on a play-action play, and Mike White was basically just dead to rights at that point in time. At linebacker, Cam Brown noted for stacking up a couple of runs in 11-on-11 action. Mo Kamara, yeah, he got put to the ground by Patrick Paul, rookie-on-rookie action there, but he also got a win on a sack against Skylar Thompson. One of the first times we've seen his name in a camp report, so that's good. Nice to see him coming along as well. Some team news as well at linebacker. Shaq Quarterman worked out for the team today. He is currently a free agent, actually spent his first 4 years in the league with the Jacksonville Jaguars. If that name rings a bell to you at all, he was a former Miami Hurricane as well. We'll see if anything comes along at that at linebacker. Yeah, David Long is still on the PUP as well. So we'll see if any signing is imminent for that. We'll wrap things up here with the secondary. Not much in regards to report from the secondary. It sounds like Jordan Poyer looked really good in the one-on-one drills, which is a tough task usually for defensive backs. Had a pass breakup during team drills today as well. I'm excited to see him and Javon Holland work together this year. You got a guy that's looking to be kind of that next guy to get a payday from the Miami Dolphins, and then you've got a guy that's been doing it year after year and is quite the veteran, quite the leader in this unit as well. Dolphins fans, we are going to wrap it there for today. Like I said, a day that needs to be celebrated. Doesn't need to be, you don't have to, I guess. I'm going to celebrate today, Miami Dolphins fans, with all the news, the great practice report, and most importantly, franchise quarterback officially locked up. We will wrap it for there today, Miami Dolphins fans. I believe the team is off on Saturday. They are back on Sunday, which is the first day that fans are allowed to show up to training camp as well. So we'll be back on Sunday unless anything crazy happens in the meantime. But until then, Miami Dolphins fans, cheers and fins up.